Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 30th, 2021, and it is Testimony Tuesday. We have a guest that is coming into the room, and so I'm going to very quickly go in and say good morning to everyone that is in the room so I don't get in trouble. Props, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Lasagna, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Mama Java, my mom, good to see you in the room. Also, Charlotte, good to see you in the room this morning. Sister Debbie, good to see you in the room as well. Intentional self-care, Rena Francis, you're going to enjoy today's session. This is definitely a dope brother. Rob, our brother, is in the room. We found out yesterday that he lost his home not in reference, but due to a fire. And so I did put the GoFundMe information on my page. And so Java fam, you know what it is we do when our family members are in need. So please go and look at that GoFundMe link and support our brother. He was very real with me. He was denying that he was in need per se, but there's about 9 months before he can get back into his home. And so we need to make sure that he's straight. There will also be an opportunity as it's Giving Tuesday for you all to contribute to supporting the Java Cafe here, Java with Jimmy. And so I think I got everybody that's in the room. Pastor Marion, good morning. Daryl Drumright, listening from Tennessee. Good morning. Good to see you in the room. My baby sister, Misha, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Tony, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I think I got everyone. Tasha, good morning. Nikki, good morning. Good to see you in the room. And Gail, good morning. Good to see you in the room. And it is Giving Tuesday. Listen, it is Testimony Tuesday, and I have an awesome young man that is coming into the room. He has a powerful testimony himself in reference to being a mental health advocate. He has an awesome summit that is coming up this weekend. And I'm telling folks now, if you do not reach me this weekend, that's because I am going to absorb and take in everything that I can take in from the Dropout Summit. So without further ado, I would like to present to some and introduce to others Kurt Fauston, who is a mental health advocate. He's the curator and founder of the Dropout Summit. And brother, good morning. Welcome to the room. First of all, I hate you for your extensions. I'm just going to talk trash because, I got a little bit of hair back here. Good morning, brother. Good to see you in the room, man. How are you?
Great morning. It's blessed to be here. I'm excited to be here for this conversation with you, man.
I am too, man. I've watched you for a couple of years now on social media. We had attempted to try to see how we can collaborate, and I still want to do that because you move in so many spaces: mental health, men's health, men's mental health, and just self-improvement. And so why don't you introduce yourself to the Java fam here in the Java Cafe? Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into some serious conversation that I mentioned to you in our pre-convo, and then we're going to talk about the Dropout Summit and just whatever's on your mind, sir. So introduce yourself. At the end, tell us how you're doing this morning by using one word to describe your mental health status.
All right, cool. First and foremost, I've been wanting to connect with you, give you your flowers. The reason why I wanted to connect with you is because I don't think in the city of Boston we do a good enough job connecting, like from whether it's young men to older men, men in general. I don't think we do a good enough job connecting in the creative spaces that we lie in. And you already know what it's like to build a business or to be a creative, anything to that capacity. That journey is isolated. That's a lonely journey at times. Many times no one knows about the responsibilities and struggles that we're feeling with. But if we could connect with one another, that's why me and you were going back and forth with each other. Not even about business. I just want to pick your brain. I want to absorb your energy. You get what I'm saying? You
Ditto,
always
ditto.
yeah, every time I see you on social media, you and there's a couple others. I know we just talked earlier about Carlos. I love his energy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good guys out here I'm just trying to connect with and just really try to move in a proper manner. But myself, my name is Fauston. I've been doing this mental health advocacy for a little bit. I've been speaking for like 9 years. So everything I do, I just really go around and try to help people, like I say, drop out of school limiting thoughts. I've been doing that from speaking in Boston pre-release prison for like 4 years to running halfway houses for like 7 years to doing this all the way to corporate America, colleges, social worker agencies, everything in between is just presenting messages to help people see their emotions, see their mental wellness from a different perspective. And I know if I could challenge your perspective, then I could challenge your belief system. If I challenge your belief system, then I can help change your character. If I change your character, then I can change your behaviors. We change your behaviors, then we could change your whole entire lifestyle. We change your lifestyle, we change your destiny. You know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of a formula to it. So that's why I really go hard speaking about emotions, speaking about mentality, like how can we shift it just differently? And I don't do it from a clinician standpoint because I'm not one. I do it from a little bit of a different perspectives because, you know, I got a little bit of a different education with this.
So, oh God, here we go. So you're one of those guests that you're going to say a few things, and then I'm ready to unpack about 10 of them. And so I'll try to stay focused because as this is your first time, won't be last. What got you as a Black man into the mental health space? Why was it important to you? You said you're not a clinician, but why is it important to you to move in this space being a Black man?
Because there's not enough people that look like me doing this. Better yet, let me run it back. There's a study out there from Harvard that state 85% of your success will be dictated off emotional intelligence and only 15% will be dictated off technical knowledge. So many times in our communities, I'm Haitian too. Many times in the Haitian community,
brothers, talk about say.
you know what I'm saying? Many times in our communities, many times in my Haitian culture, I believe that we should own Mattapan in Hyde Park by now. Let me say it like that. We should own it, like literally own it. We have the talent, we have the skills, we have the knowledge to own it. But many times why we're not in places and spaces that we should be in is because of how we feel, not what we know. You dig what I'm saying? So I personally believe, like in my life, like I met some of the smartest people in my life. I know people that were meant to be pilots. I know people that were meant to be politicians. I know people that were meant to be entrepreneurs. And these people I'm talking about are my family members and friends. But the reason why they're not in those positions is because they didn't feel like it. They didn't feel confident. They didn't feel happy. They didn't feel uplifted. They felt fearful. They felt anxiety. And if we could just switch the way someone feels, we operate to a different level. And so I myself struggled from feelings per se. You dig what I'm saying? Like school doesn't teach this. My parents didn't teach me this. I had to learn through obstacles. I had to learn through my friends. I had to learn from not having role models. You dig what I'm saying? The first time I had a role model was when I went to YouTube. That's the first time I had a role model. So that's where I realized, like, know what? Let me operate in this space and figure out what we could do.
So do y'all see why he's in the room? We can switch you up from Mental Health Monday to We Need to Know Wednesday to Thankful Thursday to crap. Okay, so a few things there. I want to talk a little bit about emotions. We as men, and Carlos talked about this yesterday, we as men, we're often told that we're not emotional, that, you know, it's kind of a punk if you tap into your emotions as a man. What are your thoughts there? Because I've heard you say the word emotional or emotions at least 4 or 5 times. And to be very transparent with you, I'm an emotional dude. It's business, but through business, there's always this filter of emotion. There's politics. This year, I had to realize that my emotions that came from experiences with some of the candidates were a huge factor in my decision making about who I would support. And I was very honest about that. And so, he's smiling. So, you know, he's about to go there. So what first, let's ask one thing. Because there's 2 things I want to explore from your last response. Do you think you're a punk or soft as a man if you tap into your emotions? And then if tapping into those emotions might lead you to need to talk to somebody about, the maybe not so positive emotions.
Well, all right, let's think of it like this. If we're a human being, we're going to feel something.
Yes, sir.
Feelings is natural part, like it's a natural part of being a human being. So when we try to like just disregard some of our emotions, then we suppress our emotions.
Okay.
Many times when we suppress our emotions, that leads to depression. When you're depressed and you don't have a way out and you can't speak to it, sometimes that leads to suicide, for example.
Yes,
and the
sir.
reason why I went there is because it's like, let's be honest, men are 4 times more likely to die from suicide in comparison to women. Like, men, once again, are 4 times more likely to die from suicide in comparison to women. But because men doesn't have healthy coping mechanisms in regards to how they feel, they've been told being vulnerable is being weak instead of vulnerability is a strength. Now we have men that develop, once again, unhealthy coping mechanisms, and 1 out of 5 men have an alcohol dependency in their life. Like we could go deep. We could go real deep with this.
Let's go.
About black and brown men right now. Black and brown men right now are considered the least educated, unfortunately, right? We're making the least amount of money. And out of all demographics outside of black women, we're in broken relationships. So many times our coping mechanisms when it comes to dealing with our emotions tend to be sex, drugs,
shopping, food.
It's all these unhealthy coping mechanisms we develop just because we don't want to communicate and feel. That's it. I know too many guys are so scared to feel their emotions. They run away from it and they suppress it by running away from it, and they go to the alcohol, they go to the woman, they go to the drugs, they go to this, they go to that, just because they don't want to feel. And if we're being honest, some of the issues that we are dealing with, we have been dealing with for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Some of the issues aren't new. It's because we've been suppressing it for so long. And what happens, right? And then to even jump on the other point you make, the part of your brain where you make decisions is not the same part of your brain where knowledge resides. We don't do what we know, we do what we feel. It's a part of your brain where you make decisions. It's the same part of your brain where emotions lie. That's why we have marketing strategies that are based on trying to make you feel some type of way, and they don't base it off a whole bunch of knowledge. You get what I'm saying? So when you just reference like, yo, when I'm looking at these politics and I'm looking at them and I'm making decisions based off my emotional standpoint, not based off my logic, yeah, that's just science. You dig what I'm saying? You're doing exactly what a human being would do. You're making decisions how you feel, not based off what you know. And it's common, like I want to say it's common sense, but this is exactly what happens to all of us. So many times, I'll give you one more example. Many times, even when I went to prisons in the Boston pre-release prison, I was dealing with the men. I promise you, some of the guys I connected with were murderers. They're about to come home 20 plus years, whatever the case is, right? They have the knowledge that murder was bad. They know murder could lead them to jail, but they did what they felt at that moment in time. They felt anger. Their pride was disrupted. They felt like they had to get back. They felt grief. Whatever they felt, they made that decision based off that. Then afterwards, they're like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have done that.
So Kirk, let me jump in right here, because I mentioned to you there's an active current situation. A young man, this has been in the media. A young woman, will say her name, by the name of Deja, lost her life. And from what's being observed in the media was that it had to do with a domestic violence situation. And what you just brought out was that, you would presume an adult male knows that if you kill someone, you're going to, the logic is not playing out. And so if you could talk a little bit about the importance of dealing with your emotions for your own safety. Let's take a real perspective to keep you out of lockup, to help you, in healthy relationships. If they're multiple, as long as you're telling your partner and you're not being deceptive, we just want to take a real perspective for a few minutes, because while there is so much attention in the loss of this life, we would be remiss if we did not use this platform and the knowledge you're spitting here today to encourage men that they're not weak if they're addressing emotions. And so maybe let's do a little bit of how, if somebody's watching right now, Kurt, how do they start peeling back the onion, the layers of all of the emotions of years, systemic racism, issues with family, issues with their girl or with their dude? Like, Go.
Oh, so I would say first and foremost, God rest that young lady's soul. I forgot her name.
Deja.
Deja, yeah. We were talking about it earlier. I saw some reports. God bless her soul to her and her family. It's a tragic situation. What is sad though is that a lot of Black and brown women are in these situations.
Keep it 100. Come.
If you go deeper with this, a lot of Black and brown women compared to other demographics, they're dealing with psychological abuse the most. They're dealing with domestic violence abuse the most. But who are the people that they're in relationship the most? Black men. They're married the most. They're they're unmarried the most, whatever the right terminology is. I'm a dropout, so I apologize for that. But they're dealing with that because of Black men. I think there's so many layers to what the solution should be. Like, from example, you were just talking about it earlier. I really have a desire long-term to get involved with policy some way, shape, or form.
Yes, sir.
Like, the reason why I'm saying that is because if there, I know you probably know this, like, there's reports that they say that they make prisons based off the 4th grade reading and math level, something like that.
School to prison pipeline. Yes, sir.
Right? If that's the case, how come we are making daycare, for example, such a premium in certain neighborhoods? How come the school systems are the way they are? You get what I'm saying? So if we could change it from a very early educational level, if we could give more access to education to these babies, not kids, access to education to these babies, then we could then transform some of the generational curses that we're currently dealing with, some of the generational trauma that we're dealing with. Many times people just model the behaviors that they see around them. So that's why even many times people ask me, yo, Kurt, can you talk to kids? I tell them all the time. I won't swear. I don't know if I can swear all that.
You good. Mom, we're going to be real today. Go ahead, sir.
I apologize. Many times, I promise you, I was about to make a video on it. People are like, yo, don't do it. But my whole video is this: fuck the kids now. I don't want to talk to the kids. The reason why is because as much as you pour into the kids, society, life, their parents, their family pours right back out of them. We have 100,000 nonprofits in the city of Boston that focus in on kids. And unfortunately, we're still dealing with the same amount of problems we were dealing with 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The problem is not the kids, it's the adults. Why don't we have nonprofits speaking to young adults and older adults? Because if I could change the mindset of a young man, of a father, then he has the capability of changing the mindset of his sons, of his daughters, of his nieces, of his nephews. I believe that the issue is that we don't have enough men willing to have this conversation. Not enough men are connecting. Not enough men are creating spaces where you could just be vulnerable, just be yourself. Why aren't we changing the narrative? I believe that's why entrepreneurship is huge. I believe that's why ownership is huge. I believe that's why policy is huge. But who's going to run that? Adults. So let's speak to the adults. Let's give spaces where they can finally address the mental trauma or emotional obstacles that they're dealing with. Let's give spaces. But how we do that? Just reach out to somebody. Why don't we just start there? Reaching out just to one person in your circle, whether it's a coach, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend. I really believe it's dangerous. Okay, let me run it back. I believe it's dangerous for some people to try to open up a door that they might not be able to close by themselves.
Sir.
So I will say that. I used to be against therapy in ways, because in that one session, you may open the door to certain things, and then an hour later, you're leaving and that door's not shut. And then next thing you know, you won't see this therapist for 2 or 3 weeks, but you're still dealing with the ramifications of opening up that door and without having a solution. It bothers me. And that's exactly why, on another standpoint, why I'm doing this summit, because I believe we need hours immersion with each other. Like, I want you to be there for like 8, 9, 10 hours of just dealing with it, beating overhead till you leave there not the same way you came. That's my personal beliefs. Like, I know therapist is good, therapy is good, coaching is good, but I believe we need immersion. We need longer sessions. We need to have real life conversations. We need to have more spaces and places where we can have these level of conversations where we can just be ourselves again, just be you again. You know what's crazy? I have a 6-year-old son. If I put my 6-year-old son in a room of 20 kids who are strangers, 30 minutes later, I guarantee he's going to come out playing with somebody. If I put a 35-year-old man in a room of 30 other adults, I guarantee you 30 minutes later, no one's going to be talking to each other.
There's so much there, Kurt. There's so much there. So authenticity, spaces and places to be able to reach out to someone. I love how you name the fact that a lot of times, and let's keep it 100. In general, some people have an issue with opening up, but men do as well. And then, so we do have, as much as we're pushing therapy and address it, we also have to be cognizant of the fact that there needs to be a level of strategy or plan, because if you, and trust me, I've been there. If you open up stuff and then the hour comes over, as you said, you're still sitting there like with everything that came out of that session. And so we didn't get to where we are in a day and in an hour. So I love the point about the immersion and spending the time, because, you know, it may not be the right definition, but there's some shadow work that we need to do as a people. And so you mentioned the dropout a little bit. Talk a little bit more about how we begin to peel back the layers and how dropout is one of those events and processes, because I believe that when I used to work for Menino, there was a term that we use called event-driven policy. Right now, you and I are having an event.
And I get what
out of here, elected might hear something and it may inform policy. There's social construction. You and I right now are rebuilding society with everybody that's watching and listening. And so there are some things that we can do. But see, these type of guests, y'all, mess me up, because I got notes and then they start talking and then my brain is just like, so a little bit more of how, and then let's get into how the Dropout Summit is one of those components that can help us.
I think what's dangerous, and that's why I love these level of conversation, right? I think what's dangerous is I don't think one solution fits all. The solution for me is going to be different from you. The solution for you is going to be different for somebody else. Someone's solution might have to do with group therapy, because that's how they learn. You get what I'm saying? Someone else might just have to read a couple of books and just take that self-education more serious. You get what I'm saying? Someone else might need that mentor, that role model where they could be like, no, what? That's the behaviors I want to see. Someone else might have to go to an event and realize that they're influenced by the network that they're in. And so they need a new group of friends. Like, everyone's solution is going to be different. And that's why I sometimes shy away from doing interviews, because it's like, what's that one solution? I don't know. I know there's probably multiple solutions for everybody. I know it might be that one solution for me, but I want to be mindful and sensitive to the fact and humble enough to realize that my solution may not apply to my cousin, may not apply to my baby sister, even though we're in the same family. You know what I mean? Like, it's unique and powerful like that. But certain things, like, for example, certain things I believe is that for me, my life changed when I was probably 24, 25, and I read a book, Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice, right? And that was by Napoleon Hill and Dr. I'm going to forget old boy's name. But anyways, I read the book, Think and Grow Rich, not the regular Think and Grow Rich, but it's called Think and Grow Rich, The Black Choice. Why that changed my life is because they were talking about all these people that were dealing with racial oppression, they were dealing with slavery, dealing with so many obstacles, and they talked about how they made it. For me, it just planted the seed that it's possible. That's all I needed. When I realized it's possible, when I was being a college dropout, dealing with childhood trauma, dealing with family that has not reached their level of expectation and potential, when I realized it was possible, then I realized, why not me? When I said, why not me? Then it started to spark that level of curiosity to figure out, how do I get it? And that's why even when I was in corporate America, I think I got promoted 5 times in 8 years, but I don't have a college degree. I was in charge of people with the college degrees. I don't have one. And it was all through emotional intelligence, because I was confident. I was able to communicate. I was able to network. I was able to have a good attitude, even though when I felt like shit. You get what I'm saying? I was able to understand that. But someone else, they might need that therapist, and that's okay. They might have to go back and forth with a therapist. They might have to journal. Journaling is huge. They might have to get into meditation. Some people might have to develop a spiritual belief and develop that spirituality to realize you're not, okay. All right.
Come on, sir.
I got ADD. I'm drinking coffee. I'm sorry. I get a little excited. When we can understand, I believe this, when we understand how the brain works and you are not your thoughts, I think that's when growth happens. There's a separation between who you are and what you think. When you're able to separate that, When you're able to separate that and realize you don't have to be impulsive to every thought that comes shooting your way, I swear to you, your life can change. There is a separation between who you are and what you think. Your brain is a body part. Its function is to think and to spew out thoughts. It is your job to make the decision which thought you want to jump into, which one you want to exploit, which one you want to believe in, which one you don't want to believe in. Because some of the thoughts we have been programmed within us throughout God knows how long.
You remind me of me often when I get excited. I often wondered if I got tested when I was younger, would they diagnose me with ADD or ADHD or adult, whatever. So I know where you are as far as once you get started, there's so much that you want to give. And so I love the fact that you talked about we can have customized care, basically. Customized care.
That's the word. That's the word.
Customized care. Yes, sir. And so one of the customized care or one of the ways in which you mentioned the fact that you're a dropout, you don't have your college degree. You're definitely not saying, because I know you're definitely not saying that you don't work to achieve that. However, if you have not, you are not limited. And so the term dropout, you're playing on words. Let's talk a little bit. You said you're a dropout. Let's talk a little bit about what's happening this weekend. And I'm glad I preface this by telling people, if y'all don't reach me Friday and Saturday, it's his fault because I'm going to be fully engulfed in dropping out. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so I play off the words. I created a company called the Dropout Academy. And the whole thing is like, I want you to drop out a school of limiting thoughts. So it's a limitation of our thought process that doesn't allow us to graduate to the next level.
Say it slowly for the people in the back, because I had to listen real good. Say it again.
It's the limitation within our thought process that does not allow us to graduate to the next level. And I want you to graduate to the new version of you. You decide what that new version is.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, because you don't got me excited. I usually don't interrupt. Is it a new version based on what you said earlier? Is it a new version, or is it the version that we were destined to be? But because of lack of emotional intelligence, sir. Sorry.
I like that. I think it's actually our real version, our true version, the authentic version of ourselves. And the authentic version of ourselves is aligned with being vulnerable. Because if you look at, I love that word vulnerability. Vulnerability is such a beautiful word, and it's a strength, right? At the foundation of any relationship that you love is vulnerability.
Yes, sir.
If you really think about it, with your family members, your friends, your best friends, you're able to be yourself. That's when you feel comfortable, you feel safe, and you could just be you. But imagine if you could be yourself with yourself, because a lot of times we are hiding our own identity from ourselves. A lot of times we have imposter syndromes where we go through this, we go through that, whatever the case is. So I realized that there's like 5 or 6 main things that people tend to struggle in: relationship management, mental emotional health, financial literacy, just dealing with motivation and resilience in general. There's fitness and wellness, there's food. And so I said a couple of years ago, why don't I put together a summit where we can actually talk about these things, bring in experts. Some of them are social media experts, some of them are local experts. Like, why don't we just bring them in and really go in depth with a crazy workshop to really speak on it and really just give them tangible tools where they leave and be like, yo, that shit actually works for me. I like that. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to say it's the end all be all solution, but I just want to say I want to provide some level of some level of tangibility when it comes to this stuff, like tangible skills. So that's when I developed the Dropout Summit. That's happening this weekend. I've been fortunate enough to partner up with some great people, whether it's Justin Springer from Fairmount Lab helping me out on the back end. He's a great guy. Chase Bank is assisting. We have Duet, that's Duet at the education of the school. Duet, which is helping out. They're an amazing sponsor. We have my man Joseph Charles from Rock City. He's going to be a sponsor as well. And I was able to get some of these partners that believed in this vision enough so I could put together this summit for a 2-day summit, where it's going to happen Friday at Chase Bank, 5:30 to 7:30. Then again on Saturday, 11 to 4 at Brook Charter School. Oh yeah, Brook Charter School was amazing too. I got to thank Brook Charter School for that.
Is that the one on American Legion?
Yeah, 200 American Legion. Yeah, 200 American Legion Highway. Yeah. And what we're doing too, I should say that for anyone that's interested in it, hit me up on Facebook. We actually running a promo where we got one person that was willing to donate about 15 tickets. So if you're interested,
Hold on. So you all need to take advantage of these 15 tickets because before there was a donation, I seen his event, believed in his vision, knew I needed it, and so I registered. And registration is it's an investment. And so you're out here. Go ahead, sir.
It's real talk. It's a small investment.
But it's worth it.
I believe it will be worth it. I went to certain, and because I'm in the personal development space, I'm used to like paying money for events and summits. It's not the culture here in Boston though, when it comes to personal development summits in comparison to certain places down south. It's I will say that. I will definitely say that we're trying to change the culture a bit out here in Boston, but yeah.
In order to change it, you have to acknowledge that it needs to be changed. So we'll sum that up part there. What other? So Friday starts at 5:30. So it's not all day on Friday.
Yeah, it's not all day on Friday. Friday is from 5. It starts at 5:30 through 7:30. We're bringing in a guy named Wallow. Some people might know him. We're bringing in Wallow on Friday. He's going to do his bit. I'll do a little bit of something, and then on Saturday, that's when we're going to have the giveaways. We're going to do a whole bunch of giveaways. We have we're giving away 58-inch TV home security. We have food coming in for everybody. We have a live performance from Oompa. We have multiple different workshops on Chase Banks going to teach on investment. I'm going to do my thing. I'm bringing in a guy by the name of Madi who's going to talk about personal branding and social media. We're having an all-women's panel in regards to relationship management. I actually think that's going to be real spicy. The whole topic, the whole topic is like Black love. Is it a fictional story or fairy tale ending? You get what I mean? And I think that's going to be real powerful to hear from an all woman's perspective. Too many times us guys try to tell women what to be and how to be in a relationship. I think that's corny. I think it's so stupid. But let's hear from the women who are actually more successful, who are making more money, who get it done, who are emotionally more stable than us. Let's hear from them and their perspective in regards to relationships. So yeah, that's what we're doing this weekend, and then we're going to keep it moving, do it 2022 again, and just more events, more summits, more workshops. Just try to take it up to another level.
I am, and I told Carlos this yesterday. Whenever I have an interview, if I'm tired toward the end of it, it means that there was. I'm sorry. If I'm tired at the end of the interview, it means that there was a real exchange, a bonding, a understanding. And so, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to what's to come from you. Everyone, there's the information about the Dropout Summit, the dropoutsummit.com. If you go to, I believe the Dropout Summit is the one for Instagram, but if you also want to follow Kurt personally on social media platforms, it is his name that is up there. So let me take the banner down so you can see his name. Kurt Fauston.
Yeah, Fauston. If you're Asian, Fauston.
Say it right so I can say it.
Uh-huh.
Say it right so I can say it right.
Oh, you can say Fauston. That's all right, but it's Faustin.
No. Faustin.
No. Faustin.
Faustin.
Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. I like that.
Have me, listen, for me doing it right, just have me a little bowl of pickles ready on Friday night. I can go get some black rice and some plantains. That's all I need, bro. That's all I need. Listen.
Pickles. No, you don't for just saying that.
Listen. Yo, bro, I really appreciate you coming into the room. I appreciate what I believe is the beginning of us. I mean, the beginning was some months ago, but that's why it was so easy for when I saw it. I was like, I didn't even scroll past. I was like, okay, where do I register? Because I knew. So that says something, but that says something about you and your brand. And so I'm watching. You know what I mean? I'm watching. And so I appreciate you, sir. What are your last words? You talked about the women's panel. We touched a little bit on the incident. But if you could just again reiterate, or what is it that you could share if you were in a room full of brothers of all ages, younger, older, what is the message that you would send to them?
That's a very interesting point. What is one message I would send to them? I would all right, let me say this, right? If you're not satisfied with where you are or who you are, that has a direct connection to the people you're around. So I thoroughly believe that birds of a feather flock together. Misery loves company. How could two walk together unless they agree? Like we,
Preach. My God,
I mean, right? So all these spiritual and quotes always talk about the people you're connected to really speaks to the level of influence that we have, or it's hard for us to be an eagle soaring in the sky to chill with pigeons. That doesn't happen. You get what I'm saying? And many times we have the potential to soar in the sky like eagles, but we're around too many pigeons
come, sir. My
to
God.
that level. You did. So I thoroughly believe if you're not satisfied with who you are or where you are, change your circle of friends. If I'm around 8 millionaires right now, on dogs, I'm about to be at least 100,000 there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so if you can, if you're not, I would really challenge men to change and grow their circle, because many times we're so connected to memory lane versus future lane that we're just connected to people that we have memories from high school with, memories from the neighborhood with, memories because they're in our culture. But why not have more people in the future to the person that we're growing to be, the person we're destined to be, person that we were meant to be since we've been existed? Like it baffles me. Or let me just say this one point, right? Every February, I get hired the most because of Black History Month, because they want to teach about diversity. Let's bring in the young Black brother, right? And there's statistics and studies that show companies that have more diverse employees, they're able to get a 2.3 return more than companies that don't have diverse employees, which I love. That's cool. Congratulations. It's beautiful. But when I look at my circle of friends, how diverse are they in terms of ages, in terms of genders, in terms of religions, in terms of belief systems, in terms of experiences, in terms of educational levels? If your group of friends are not diverse, I really think it speaks to your inability to grow to new places and spaces and gain new knowledge. My life changed when I started talking to Muslim. I'm not even a Muslim. My life changed when I started connecting with a couple Muslim brothers, and they challenged my thought process, belief system with things. I'm like, oh, I love how you think. My life changed when I started talking to more women and have platonic relationships with them. Like, oh, let me be a little bit more sensitive, right? Like, let me be a little bit more cognitive, or let me be a little bit more self-aware with how I treat you. My life changed when I start to have a little younger friends when they're just youthful and excited. Like, yo, let me go back to the younger me again. Like, life could change when you just change your circle of friends.
There's so much. And I just wanted to acknowledge the niece who is one of your younger friends as well. This is my niece here, Vanessa. Who it was so excited about you being in the room. And so she was so excited to hear about that. And when you talked about young people, I just thought about her. Kurt, I just, we need to pass an offering plate. My God. Listen.
Shout out to Bishop Bobby Perry. But yeah, I ain't no pastor. That's for sure.
Listen, that is my guy and my dude, and he's right across the street there. I appreciate you, man. I'm about to go do some hustling, as today is Giving Tuesday, and so let folks know that how they can support this and others. But don't forget, folks, it's not too late to register, correct?
No, it's not too late. Like I said, DM me, hit me up if you're looking for free tickets. We definitely got that sponsor. Let's get those 15 tickets out. So hit me up. I appreciate everybody in the comment section. Could even jump in like that, but definitely appreciate y'all.
Please go back if you get a chance, because they listen. I can tell by I can't even keep up with all the comments that are scrolling here. They really enjoyed you, from preach to yes to preach to come on here, brother. Nobody wants to hear him say it. We need those safe. But listen, man, go back and check them out.
Damn. Oh, for real? Okay.
Yes, they went in, bro. I mean, just look.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
They enjoyed you, sir.
I usually black out when I talk, so I apologize for ranting. I sometimes rant.
No, it's not. It's needed. It is needed, because the authenticity that you exuded is I think what will get folks that look like you and I to at least be able to have a small inch that if we can wedge in, we can get them to begin to consider how important it is for them to change their circles. And so I appreciate you, Kurt. I will be there Friday at 5. Anyway, I can support via the platform. You know, I'm going to try to go live a little bit and then do a quick interview.
Do whatever you want to do. We'll talk on the side anyway. I definitely appreciate you, your platform. I was just serious about it at the beginning. I want to connect with you more.
Yes,
I really appreciate the knowledge and wisdom you have, and I feel like we could definitely help each other. And there's obviously others out there. We need more spaces of men talking anyway.
Yes, sir. Kurt, I appreciate you, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you Friday about 5:15. Because if you're, what is it? If you're on time, you're late. And so I'll see you Friday about 5:15, sir.
I love it, my guy. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate you. Love you too, man. Thank you.
Bye, man.
Listen. How much that was real. Oh my God, that dude. So I guess a good segue to just pull me in real quick is I wrote down some notes. And Kurt is just one example of what we've been able to accomplish here in the Java Cafe. And you all know I only do this a few times a year, but I'm going to jump in on the spirit of Giving Tuesday and open, well, not open it up because it's always open. But if Belinda's in the room, she'll be proud of me. As today is Giving Tuesday, I am opening up and a little more open to soliciting and asking for some support for the platform. And so I wanted to let you know that what the Java Cafe has accomplished over the last 20 months. As you all know, we started with COVID. We've helped decrease the spread of COVID-19. We assisted students who needed laptops. We provided PPE and gift cards to the community through support from the city of Boston. That's real. Held spaces to address grief and trauma. Made the community aware of and facilitated assurance for those that facilitated and provided assistance for those dealing with issues of unemployment and SNAP. Y'all remember the first couple of weeks, Diane Sullivan was in the room teaching us about all of the changes that were going on with SNAP, aka food stamps. We provided transportation assistance to families and those going to get vaccinated and needed to be tested, to seniors going to pick up food. Through a partnership with Lyft that was garnered in the Java Cafe, agencies and entities in this city have received Lyft codes in the amount of over $100,000. And so that was during COVID, a little bit before August of 20. So that was during COVID. It was all during COVID. We also provided transportation. I did that. We held spaces to address mental wellness like we did today and promoted therapy and other resources to address mental illness. We curated conversations with the medical experts from two of the world's most prestigious hospitals. We provided accurate vaccination information as well as vaccination access resources. And we brought elected and other thought leaders on the platform to inform, educate, and mobilize voters and give them information about the candidates and issues. This is what we've come together to do and accomplish in the Java Cafe. And so as it's Giving Tuesday, this is one day I don't have any problem asking for your support. I might put these bullets up because y'all know me. I don't want to, I try to avoid a whole bunch of crap. You know what I mean? But for you all that have been in here, you all know what we've accomplished. And so if you're so inclined, if you would like to make a tax deductible donation, that is some information I will put on Facebook. You can make a check payable out to the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. In the memo section, write Java with Jimmy and mail it to 193 Norfolk Street, Dorchester, Mass. 02124, Suite 2. And so that information I will put on Facebook. Shout out to Tina, Sherry, Rachel, and all of them over at the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. Y'all remember I gave the testimony. What's today? November 30th, almost a year ago. Set up this arrangement with the Peace Institute. I think it was on like December 4th. And that was like 11:30 in the morning. About 4:30 in the afternoon, Reverend Brown from 12th Baptist calls me and says they're about to seed a gift into Java with Jimmy if I had a nonprofit fiscal conduit. So we appreciate the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute. If you would like to write a significant check, reach out to a brother. You can email me at info@javawithjimmy.com. Thank you all for tuning in today. Kurt was definitely so inspiring. And I just, this Friday is going to be so interesting. What is Tasha saying? My hands are still raised. He spoke a good word today. Thank you, Kurt. Fauston, I forgot how to say it that quick with my Haitian accent. Jen is, and if you keep it fucking real, sorry for advance for the F-bomb. I'm serious. He kept it real. He kept it real. KB, this brother, Are you coming to Mattapan Square Friday at 5:30, Kenya? I love you. All right, guys, I'm going to get ready to wrap up today. Naraki said he got me excited. Just take the offering and close us out. Give the benediction and we can keep it moving. All right, folks, but here's the thing. To some extent, he's preaching to the choir. So who are the young men and the young women that you need to tag and tell them to watch Brother Kurt? All of this is good for all of us that come into the Java Cafe and the Java fam. We got a tribe. We have a family unit here. That is awesome. But we need to extend the information. What's the use of us holding it all in here in the Java Cafe and we doing all right and not giving it out to other people? So I don't know where that came from. All right, guys, I will see you guys. Today's Tuesday. I will see you guys tomorrow at listen, if you thought today was fire, I don't know if you ever had the opportunity or experience to hear this young man, but tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we are looking at all of the results of the municipal election here in the city of Boston. Post-election votes analysis. We need to know Wednesday. Anthony Collins is back in the room. He is an electoral campaign worker, and he is coming in to break down all of the numbers, precincts, wards, black, white, male, female, Latino, Asian, all the ethnicities, all the votes. We are going to look at his breakdown, and I'm telling you, it's going to be very informative. So we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. And don't forget, next Tuesday, we will be back with another session of Your Healthy Java, sponsored by the Massachusetts General Hospital Office of Equity and Community Health. And I think that's it for me today. So you guys have an awesome day. It was dope to see you in the room, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember, love is the foundational thing. Even if you have to love from a distance or practice tough love, remember, love is still the foundational thing. Peace, everybody.